Back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun. Are you ready? Let's go,
Now we're back from the dead. We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead.
Are you ready? Let's go. Back from the dead.
We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead.
Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. It is yours truly, Krystal Leandra, as your lead host, along with my sidekick, Kat Cormier.
Hello.
Hello, Miss Kat Cormier. This is a paranormal podcast for those of you that are brave enough to join the circle. So, you know, Kat and I had a weird week, kind of like everybody else. There's about 10 of you that are on right now, so I'm sure people will start to kind of flood in on all platforms. Yeah, we didn't stream Monday because, we can't avoid the topic at hand, right?
True.
It's a massive global thing that is happening right now, not even just with the United States, and it's really hard to not obsess about it. You know what I mean? I have a really creepy video coming for you guys of, I drove down the first night we were on quarantine lockdown here in Las Vegas, and we were one of the first states to go on lockdown. and everything is shut down except necessities, which is food. So Walmart's open, any Kroger stores are open, stuff like that. They are allowing hardware stores to remain open in case you're a homeowner and like, you know, you have a freak out flood by accident or something. They want you to be able to access Home Depot, and that's about it. And gas stations are open, and that's it. Everything else is shut down. And for Vegas to be shut down, it's very strange. I moved to Vegas in 2015, and you know, before I made like the move, I wanted to like check it out. I wanted to see what Vegas was about. And one thing that I really, really love, and even Kat loves about Vegas, is that it's a 24-hour city. It's unlike anywhere else, you know, like, yeah, there's times Kat and I are like, you know, working till 3 a.m, and we're like, we want a burrito. Let's go get a burrito. Or you could go get sushi at 3 a.m, or you can get like a smoothie at 3 a.m, like literally. Everything's accessible all 24 hours a day. And so my city has been in a funk. My city has been in a bit of a depression, to say the least. And I think it's shocked a lot of people. A lot of people are out of work in my city because obviously gambling is really what keeps this state alive. And everyone was freaked out, and a lot of casinos laid people off without money, so they had to file for unemployment and stuff like that. So we're in a very strange time, and there's no denying that. And we are going to address this a little bit more later. I do want to say, like Larry came on, he said, you know, this virus has me on the edge. You know, you're right. Like, to me, it's not just the virus that I'm nervous about, it's the economy as well. It's you think about homelessness, you think about people losing their jobs, being able to afford food, like the whole thing is terrifying. So Kat and I are going to talk about some positive things later on in the stream, okay? So if you can, try to stick it out as long as you can, because I think you're going to feel a little bit better once you kind of hear what Kat and I think about all of this. I also think that it took Kat and I, you know, anyone that's into paranormal is sensitive to energy, right? Like literally anybody that's been communicating with the dead or whatever, you're going to be sensitive to energy. I just realized my shirt blends in with my backdrop. I just realized my sleeves, like I promise I have on clothes, guys. Like, sorry, I didn't realize I'm so Morticia today. You know what I mean?
I love it.
I'm such Elle Woods Morticia.
Yes.
But like, you know, Kat and I are very, very sensitive to energy, like most of you guys that are, you know, into paranormal. And I think the biggest thing, and Kat, correct me if I'm wrong, we have been trying to tune in to what's going on.
Yes.
And it's been very difficult. And
It has been.
we literally had to go on a little bit of a soul search together where we were trying to figure this out. And it led to both of us going down a couple of rabbit holes, researching and all that stuff. And we do think we have an answer. So I think this will really help you guys. And honestly, Kat and I, this whole week, like, okay, look, it's dark times, right? Like, there's weird things happening. There's weird shit. Nobody knows what's going on. No one knows what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone an hour from now, okay? We're all glued to the social media. We're all glued to, like, the TV or whatever and watching, like, what's going on by the hour. But I have to say, and I want you guys to check in as well and, like, really think about it. As chaotic as it has been, Kat and I feel like we are leveling up spiritually hardcore this week.
It's been intense.
Didn't even mean to. Wasn't even planning on it, okay?
No.
To the point where we're on the phone, literally, like, I can say what she's thinking and she's doing the same thing to me. And, like, we're both really creeping each other out, okay? Like,
Yeah.
neither of us want to do this. You know what I mean? Like,
I think the biggest important aspect of the level up is knowing when to rest and when to silence the mind from the chaos that's happening.
right.
And it's hard, but taking that step back for yourself to kind of have some mental clarity and peace of mind is going to be really important during this process. And I feel like we had to do that because we were so drained and so tired. And don't get me wrong, we still checked up on things and made sure that we were informed. But, you know, at the end of the day, we made sure that we got over 8 hours, or, you know, we were really resting hardcore. And I think that really made us hone in abilities to be a little bit more grounded.
Right.
And during this time, it was really helpful.
I also think that it was really hard this week distinguishing energy from the media, energy from celebrities, energy from your friends on Facebook. It was really hard to like narrow in. And so Kat and I literally had to like shut everything out and just decide how we felt. You know what I mean? Like, how are we feeling? And surprisingly, as crazy as things are, we're feeling very high vibrations right now. And once again, we'll talk about this later. So let's first chat about some reviews. And just as a heads up, what we're going to talk about later, related to everything that's happening globally, when we get to that section of the chat, I'm going to have to turn off Facebook and YouTube. And we're going to only be streaming on twitch.tv. And the reason for that is I'm going to be sharing some clips that could be copyrighted. And it's going to be on Twitch. So please be on twitch.tv. But it's a review, so it's legal. Okay. So anyway, for now, we're going to be live on all channels. Okay. So let's chat about Jesus Take the Wheel.
That's a great
Are you
intro
guys
for
ready
that
for
one.
some tea? Like this, you want to get your mind off of things. Okay, I have something
Y'all
to
better
do
get that tea ready, get that yarn ready, crochet a lot right now.
Crochet a lot.
Y'all are gonna need something to keep your mind preoccupied. with the
Crochet like a
mindful
madman.
things. Yep.
Oh my
exactly.
God. Okay. So I don't even know where to start. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
You know, it's fine. We're gonna get through this. It was really rough. It was really, really rough.
okay. So last night, I watched it last night. Kat watched it today. Thursday night, Ghost Adventures Nightmare in Antelope, which is in California. Antelope Valley. Okay. Kat is like just waiting for me. Like she's just like dying. She's like, I can't wait.
I have so much. No.
You know what I mean? Like, this is, I just, okay. People for a long time thought that Zach was funding my channel on YouTube. Not this channel, obviously, that we're streaming on now. My previous channel. And I was accused of it a lot. And these are the moments where I'm like, if he was paying me, I wouldn't be saying things like this, okay?
Yeah.
And so he's never paid me, by the way. I wish a mofo would, for the record. That would be nice. That would be nice, you know what I'm saying? However, I do really feel like I've given him some really good free press, so congratulations to Zach for that. I know, it's so bad, guys. This was the worst episode of Ghost Adventures I think I've ever seen. I'm really distraught over it.
I feel like there have been a few episodes that have been kind of cringy, but this one specifically was really, really difficult to get through.
It
It wasn't just the scenario that was happening. It was a little bit of everything.
I'm just going to first start out with saying, piggybacking to... Oh God, Krystal shivers. I haven't watched the episode, but I saw your stories last night. Oh great. I'm so glad you saw those. I don't have to say anything to you then, Krystal. You already know. No. It's a time in our lives where, we need to try to let go of fear because of what's going on globally. That's what happened with the panic shopping. People went in fear and bought all the godforsaken toilet paper, and now no one can wipe. You know what I'm saying? And so we need to let go of the fear and then decide, where are we going to channel our energy? Where are we going to reground ourselves? When you're starting to like panic and fear, you're kind of flailing all over the place, right? You're a mess. You're like, oh my God, I'm like so freaked out and scared. I don't know what's going to happen and this and that. Well, that tells me that you're not grounding. You're not grounding yourself. And it's hard. I'm not going to say that it's not. But like, you absolutely have to stay grounded, because if you do not take care of yourself, your energy and your mental health, you will not be able to handle anything that comes at you. And I think that's also a lesson with this whole virus thing going around, okay, is like learning how to keep yourself grounded. Also community, right? Paying it forward. I have helped some elderly people in my area. I've volunteered to help some elderly people get their groceries. They're afraid to go to the store. Paying it forward to people that are in need, okay, because they need you right now. Like, this isn't about you. This isn't about you as a solo. This is about us as a collaborative unit, not even as a United States government, as a globe. It's a global issue right now. And because I'm in that mindset of community involvement, that is why I cringed so bad at Ghost Adventures last night, okay? Clearly, this episode was filmed before this whole crazy thing took place as far as, like, the outbreak. But still, you know, the sensitivity that was not involved with kindness caused me to be very disappointed in Zach. You know, people always think too, like, because we follow each other on social media, like, I'm always going to agree with everything he does. Absolutely not. 100%. So I guess let's kind of start at the opening scene of this, okay? And so he starts coming in, there's this breathing issue happening, right? Like, we're seeing, like, what appears to be like an exorcism. Billy's in night vision. We're kind of like, it looks panicky, you know what I mean? Like, I do take exorcism serious. I'm kind of, I sit between a rock and a hard place with Ghost Adventures, because 50% of me does think that there's people out there that need exorcisms and whatnot, and they're not Catholic. So I do feel like there could be a need for this. Mm-hmm. The other side of it is, how is Zach finding every single one just for his show? And, like, I feel like we've just seen exorcisms this entire season, and I'm kind of, like, over it, and I'm kind of at, like, Zach, like, is that all you got? Like, you don't have anything left? Like, if Ghost Adventures went back a little bit, and, like, I know over time you have to evolve 100%, because things have to change, especially with film. But honestly, I feel like if they would throw it back to sort of, like, OG Ghost Adventure style, they would get a lot more views. Instead, they're doing this, like, weird extreme shit, and I'm just kind of, like, not following. I guess a few seasons back, if you guys remember, he was doing an episode of someone that he claimed was a friend here in Las Vegas, and the friend was having, like, quote, once again, demonic attachments, and Zach took his mother's ashes and put him in his museum. Okay, that was probably the lowest thing I've ever seen Zach do, because I've been in that museum probably 20 times, if not more. And that place is haunted as F-U-C-K, okay? Like, he has Charles Manson's ashes in there. Like, and there's stuff that's not even on display that he has that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, the things he has as being a collector are dark. They're really dark, weird, horrible things. If someone took my mama's ashes in there, there'd be a problem. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not taking my mama's ashes in there. So that I had a really big issue with when he did that. I've never had an issue or problem with him since that big until last night. Okay? So I'm watching Ghost Adventures. It's this episode. Honestly, they got some really good episodes. Evidence, not episodes. Mm-hmm. So he starts first interviewing the teenage daughters who's claimed that they've had bruises and cuts. One of them says that this demon thing is, like, you know, appearing in the corner. The first, and I'm going to let Kat talk about this next too. The first thing when I witnessed him talking to these girls is, the first one he spoke to looked like she was, like, the older child, and then the second one was, like, the younger child. But the minute I started reading the energy, just by viewing this girl, the first one, I thought she was practicing black magic or something dark. There was obviously some sort of tapestry behind her, too, that may have been, you know, tarot related, which clearly Kat has a tarot tapestry up. That doesn't mean it's always bad, but Kat doesn't have bad energy. You can look at Kat and know exactly what she's about. But this girl, Kat's like, thanks. But this girl, I felt like, how did you feel? Like, seriously, what did you think when you saw the girl?
Yeah, so there were two daughters. The first one that was interviewed was it Mariah?
I'm not sure.
Her name was Mariah. Oh, it was Mary. So the first one we saw that kind of had the darker vibe was Mary. The second one was Mariah. And Mary had a very dark aesthetic about her. Very goth, you know, black lipstick, black hair, all that jazz. But there was a really big darkness, like, in the room. Mm-hmm. And I'm not meaning, like, dark as in they needed dark for filming or whatever, but there was a very dark presence in there, and it kind of just made you wonder if she was doing some things that she shouldn't have been with the black magic or, darker magic stuff that could have maybe helped manifest this problem a little bit.
Yo, do you know your daughter's a witch? She's summoning something, yo.
Like there's something. Because then the other daughter that was interviewed, Mariah, looked exactly the same, but she had a little bit of a lighter energy about her. She seemed a little bit more like a follower than
yes, I almost just said follower. Stop it. Stop it.
Stop it. Sorry.
Stop it.
I was actually not convinced that there was a black shadow in the corner from both of them, because there was something about the energy that just kind of didn't seem right.
Right.
And clearly later on that comes up again.
The evidence.
So it was
legit,
mm-hmm. Right.
So in other words, you're saying the one girl was the follower, so you just couldn't trust her, and the other girl just seemed dark, so you just weren't trusting her right off the bat.
Right. So the energy was just weird.
Right.
In general.
And I agree.
Taking what they were saying with a grain of salt.
Right. I agree.
So
I believed the mom more than I believed the daughters.
Oh my gosh, that poor mom.
She was very shaken up. She was out of it. I mean, that was legit. Yeah. Oh my God, here we go. I just don't know if I can get through this. Like, what if my head starts spinning on the stream, guys? Like, please, whatever you do, if I get possessed, don't call Bishop Ryan. Okay, like 100%.
We're not even gonna go there, okay?
No, we are gonna go there, because 92% of my followers on Instagram agreed with me that Sister Mary looks like the woman from Frozen 2.
I saw that. It's hilarious. But no, really, she's got some issues.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh my God. Okay. Let's try to get on track. I'm trying to stay on track.
Yeah. We're light workers, right? We're trying here, but it's just, man.
I'm so balanced right now and like calm. It's not even funny. Like,
there's a difference between trash talking and the truth. Okay, they're two different things.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Just saying.
That's
I'm just saying.
Okay, what did you say? You put in the notes. Zach's voice sounds more twangy than normal.
Oh my gosh! Okay, as soon as it was the first scene after like the intro of like what was gonna happen in the episode, right? And he sounded so twangy. I wanted to like slap him. I'm like, why are you talking like that, Zach? I have literally never heard you talk like that.
There is one thing I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget this, because a lot of people have messaged me. I shouldn't laugh. This is very insensitive, and I'm laughing. I must have like some really dark humor from everything going on right now. But a lot of people have messaged me, asked me why Zach wears hats so much, and a lot of girls were asking me if I thought he was going bald. Not that that's any of our business, but I would just like to confirm that on last night's episode, he in fact took his hat off for the first time, and he has a full head of hair, 100%.
Yeah, it was full.
Yeah, it was totally full. I think he just isn't. I don't know if he has like a bad hairstylist. Hey boo, what's up? I'm a hairstylist. I have my cosmetology license. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know if he gets his hair cut as often, if he doesn't like to style his hair, whatever. So that's your answer. Okay. So like, everybody's been obviously, like, I'm not going to call Zach and be like, hey, do you still have your hair? It's kind of an inappropriate question. Okay.
No, that voice though, man.
The twangy voice.
As we approach this home, I can already feel the weight. I'm like, who is this? I was like, is somebody else doing a voiceover? I don't even know what's happening. It's fine. So
oh my
fine.
God, I'm dead.
Yeah. Moving on.
Someone, Megan said, or Meg D said, they both give me a weird vibe, Sister Mary and the Bishop. We'll get there, Meg. Just
we're gonna get
1
there.
second, boo. This is really hard to get through. You know what I mean?
Don't
like,
you worry, we're gonna get there.
Namaste. I'm just gonna sit here and meditate while we're live. Jesus. So homeowner has this interview with Zach. Another thing that was bothering me was she was like really having a hard time talking about it, and he's like, "You just need to tell me, okay? Like, I just need you to be honest, and I just need you to tell." And he kept repeating himself. We heard you.
Yeah.
Why are you being so aggressive? Like, I just said I liked his aggressive interviews, and now I'm like, whoa, buddy, hold it back for a minute. Like,
it was not good.
She's crying.
I talked about this before too. Yeah, like she was just trying to be honest, and obviously this is a very delicate situation.
Kat, the way you said that. Obviously, this is a very delicate situation, and Zach couldn't tell that it was.
It's so true. Like, she was sitting there saying that she used to be a skeptic.
Right.
So that should have been a clear indicator, like a social cue to not be an a-hole.
This is
But
what
he
Kat's
was
been saying
literally
all day. She's like, Zach doesn't pick up on social cues very well, okay?
0. And I'm sorry, but after like 22 or whatever, 23 seasons, I feel like you should have an idea or an understanding of like the energy in the room. So if it's really going to suppress you that much to be rude and mean, then why don't you go do it outside? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Don't be rude. He was talking over her constantly. Anytime she expressed that she was uncomfortable and she was having kind of second thoughts, he was being very abrasive.
Yeah.
And it was uncomfortable to watch. I felt bad for her. I was embarrassed for her because that's embarrassing.
Right.
Especially in her home.
It is.
So,
And I agree. I was kind of flabbergasted. Let's just pull that word right out of the thesaurus. You know what I'm saying? I was flabbergasted. I was really taken back. I don't know what's going on with him right now. I don't know if he's maybe been hanging around the museum a little too much. We have a little bit of too many dead friends, you know what I'm saying? And then you forget to empath people.
true.
Oh, April said, is that the same bishop that was from Bobby Mackey's? No. No. Thank God. No, that's a whole nother mess, boo. April, you missed the last stream. That's a whole other mess. And we just don't have the time to replay that
was
today.
like our stream, wasn't it? That was like, we were going in.
Kat's Catholicism was out, like 100%.
I was ready with the facts.
Long story short, Bishop Brian is not a real bishop. Long story short. You have to go to the Pope and be sort of blessed by the Pope to be a bishop, and he did not do that. And also, by the way, Sister Mary is not a sister. I don't know what's going on.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing about that.
It's just a mess. It's a whole big old mess.
I don't get it. I don't get it, but it's fine. I guess we don't need to get it. So
okay, so now the girl is saying, Layla, is that her name, right? Layla?
Yep. Leela, I think.
Leela. She was having sleep paralysis, which I believe that 100%. I've had sleep paralysis, y'all. Like, it's scary. It scares me. Sleep paralysis is the real deal. He's talking about old hag syndrome, which is interesting because didn't we mention that on a couple streams way back in the day a little bit here?
You know,
it's fine. Everything's fine.
I watched it and I was like, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
And I mean, this episode was shot pretty recently.
Right.
So he had to, or somebody.
That stream was a little bit back though. Like it was like a month ago or so, something like that. Like it was a minute ago.
Yeah.
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 It's fine. Yep. Everybody likes our ideas. It's fine. We should be writers for the whole Travel Channel, Kat.
Y'all need to give us some checks.
I need some money.
Krystal.
If you guys want to keep taking my ideas, I need some money.
Look, it's fine.
It's about time I get paid. Everybody thinks I'm getting paid. I wish. I'm telling ya. I would have been honest with y'all if he was paying me. I'd be like, look, here's my Lambo. Okay, it's right here. Of course, I do like my Wrangler, okay? But,
I do love your Jeep, PP.
I know. My God, we're horrible in the Jeep, guys. Never drive with me in the Jeep because I will purposely go over bumps like 40 miles an hour. It's the funnest thing ever.
And construction.
That's the best. It's the best.
So fun, though.
I love the Jeep. Okay, animal, she says it looks like a panther standing on hind legs with hooves as feet. Might I add, I Googled that. That is a demon. I don't think I told you that. That is a demon. Yeah, it's a legit demon. I'm not saying the name because you're not supposed to, and I'm not gonna. Look, Mother Earth has enough issues right now. We don't need to add demons into it.
Oh my God. No,
Look,
really, though.
no, we don't need no
God.
mo problems. Okay, no mo. Okay, we
Nope.
have enough.
Nope.
So
We're
she
good.
can keep her panther demon in her house. That's fine. Okay. But it is legit. So I was kind of shocked when I looked that up, and it does cause things like sleep paralysis and things like that. So I was like, okay, makes sense. So I did really believe all this stuff that she was saying. So Zach kept saying to her, to me it was provoking. I don't know how you felt. Do you want this to end? Like almost a threat. Like, are you gonna live with this, or like, do you want this to end? Type of thing.
Yeah, it was really, and it was unwarranted because she didn't say anything like she didn't want to go through with it anymore. She was starting to feel uncomfortable and oppressed in that moment. And I feel like that's
Sorry.
like literally. No, it's silly.
I was talking
Like-
about the demon in your house, and Larry said my ex-wife.
Yes.
Oh my
10
god!
points
This
to
is
Larry.
this is the you know, we need this laughter right now in
That
our
is
lives.
hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? Anyways.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
I literally
That was
tried to
awesome.
hold it. I was like, I've got this, and it just came out.
That
No, it
was
was.
awesome.
He's like, do you want this to end? And it was uncomfortable. Once again, there's something in communication called social cues. It literally exists. And Kat knows about it, and you didn't. I studied communication. Like, literally, that's my major. And you learn body language, and like I did it specifically for like interviews and talking to people and like understanding when someone wants to go further into a topic or when they're uncomfortable. It's kind of like journalism. And like social cues is like when the way people are reacting to the things that you're saying, okay? But I just don't know if he is all there when it comes to these interviews, because you have this woman saying she's suffering from this attachment, and she's like hysterically like sobbing, and like you can see like it, like her shoulders are down, you know what I mean, like her confidence is gone. You would think if he is an empath, would he want to like, can I help you, you know?
It was very forceful.
It was
really
forceful.
I think the thing that was really telling in that was her message was really powerful, because you could tell that she was really fearful, and she was being really authentic, saying, I used to be a skeptic. I'm afraid to be honest with you about the things that are actually happening, because I don't want people to think I'm crazy, because I used to be in their shoe.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm dealing with this. Like, that's a huge message that you could have utilized, or he could have utilized in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And instead it was met with an attack.
Right.
Or being spoken over.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of feel like it was a missed opportunity to be, you know, consoling and understanding that if anybody else has been a skeptic in the past and going through this, they're not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They are going through this, and that they can seek the help that they need.
This also goes back to communication and the study of it, which is, even as a public figure, it's a big deal, right? Like a celebrity or public figure, there is a difference between talking with someone, because communication is not just speech. It is listening, it is body language, it is eye contact, it is speaking back and forth. It's like communicator 1 versus communicator 2, or if you're in a group of people. And then there is speaking at people, which is really not communication. You cannot speak at someone to communicate with them. That is not communication. That is a one-way side of communication. And the way I felt this whole episode, he was speaking to this girl was at her. He was speaking at her, not with her. How do you feel?
Same way. Same exact way. It was really rude. It was really, really rude, and it wasn't his house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he should have just done it outside.
Right.
Because he was just really disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
so
unfortunately.
You have her husband who says that he's seen these attacks happen when no one's been around. And her husband says he just will drop and just start praying, basically. She has had fits of rage where her daughters have been sort of caught in the misfire. She's calling her daughters things like prostitutes, and she'd never say that. Throwing things, and then she just doesn't have any memory of it. Now, let's play devil's advocate for a second, because I'm always gonna do that. That's my favorite place to be.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about someone who's having fits of rage, calling her daughters names, throwing things, which is getting violent, and she's having zero memory of it. Could we be dealing with an underlying mental health issue such as bipolar?
It is possible. It is possible.
So do we need to get a medical diagnosis to make sure that's ruled out before we bring in a freaking exorcist?
Good point, because that is actually what's required through the Vatican, by the way.
So if you were actually trained as a bishop through the Vatican, you would probably take the proper necessary steps to ensure there is no underlying mental health issue that needs to be treated with something like a doctor or prescribed medication. Is that what you're saying, Kat?
It is. It's also actually even used for more evidence. So, you know, let's say that somebody goes and they're going to be tested for schizophrenia or something to ensure that they don't actually have a mental illness and, you know, it's not a demonic presence. And then all of a sudden the person starts crawling up the wall or talking in Latin. You know what I mean? It's something else you can validate to say, okay, this is actually serious now. Things aren't really matching up right. So,
well, and I have to say, the first thing I thought when I heard all of this was, is she bipolar?
Yeah.
And that needs to be checked first. And that's just for herself. It's there's no shame in saying if there's a mental health thing going on. It's okay. Get it taken care of. But you need to rule that out. And there was nothing discussed on that. And that makes me really concerned with people at home, once again, with Mr. Bishop Brian buying a red cap off of eBay or Amazon and calling himself a bishop. Anybody can go and do this. You're teaching a really bad lesson in the paranormal industry that anyone can perform exorcisms. And
it's true.
It can cause danger and it can cause death. And, we think that, Bishop Brian, in the position that he's in, if the Catholic Church gets a hold of this, such as like Catholicism in Rome,
the Pope,
and someone dies in his presence while he's, quote, doing an exorcism, and he hasn't been properly trained and done through the right channels, he could potentially go to jail.
He'd be in jail.
I mean,
100%.
Yeah. So, I mean, once again, should we be teaching this so easily to, not be an actual bishop? It's very dangerous what's going on here. I don't like the message that's being sent. To me, it just screams like no safety whatsoever.
Yes.
And they have these slow B-roll. Here comes Sister Mary with her veteran military bag.
Demon Marvel movie.
And Bishop, whatever made up his name is.
I think this is what really got me about that was the fact that you could clearly see on his face that he enjoys being on camera.
Well,
like,
let's not skip ahead yet, but yes, I agree with that statement. 4,000%. Husband claims that he's seen that her eyes are black. So, I mean, I'm not disagreeing that she could have something be going on here. Obviously, he interviews the sisters, which I don't really know how credible they were, to be honest. I don't know if I would have even showed their interviews. And my question was, he went in to do the interviews with the one girl who we think is a little bit dark. And how is he not paying attention to the atmosphere around him where there's like the tapestry on the wall of the tarot sun or the moon, whatever it was? Wouldn't you, like, I guess maybe it's because I'm an actual empath and I actually in tune to things and energy around me. And when I walk into a room to do an interview like that, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm seeing some strange things here. So maybe I should ask, so what is this about? What are you into? What are you summoning? Do you practice magic? And none of those questions came up. So I was kind of like, what's the point of this interview?
Well, that, and he didn't seem to be uncomfortable in there at all, which kind of raises the question of if she is really dark and, summoning whatever, or doing things she probably shouldn't be doing, was he comfortable in that energy?
Oh, of course he is. He owns a Dybbuk box.
No? Yeah. So that raises another question where it's, like, kind of creepy, you know?
So many things I'm just going to keep to myself. Zip my lip. Daughter also claims to see a shadow up in the corner, which you thought wasn't real. I mean, I assumed it could be. Obviously, they ended up catching some evidence about it, which I thought was interesting. They were incorporating still photos. They don't really do that as often as...
That was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should incorporate that more often. So I was really happy that they did that. And Zach asked the mother if she had any religious items in the house. Why did he ask that? Do you know? Like, did he think there was... And then...
Like, it would matter. She's possessed anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I was like, what's the point of that question? And then they never kind of rounded back to it. And I was like, is he asking that because, like, why?
Like,
why?
Are you trying to make a point? Like, I don't really understand.
Or is he, like, wondering if she's around, like, religious items, if it causes problems or something? Like, I just... 2 and 2 equals 14, and I had no idea what was going on. I was like, okay, it's fine. So he asked her if she had feelings about, or thoughts, I guess, about hurting herself. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that topic?
I felt that was a little bit overstepping.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that there were other ways that could have been worded, like, have you ever had dark thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a different way to approach it on camera because you're still trying to get your point across, but you're also being sensitive to the person, sitting there.
Right.
So, I don't know. I don't know if it just kind of slipped out and then they just kind of left it. But
Well, no, because he kind of provoked at that point. He's like, you can tell me. You can tell me. And she's like, it hurts. And it was just like...
that's rough.
Well, and also, like, you know, once again, sensitivity. Like, you're putting this person on national television and trying to force her to admit that she wants to kill herself.
That's horrible.
Like
she's
are you doing this because you want a good episode, or are you actually concerned about this person's well-being? Because I don't think so. Because if you were concerned about her actual well-being and possible suicide, I don't think you would be blasting it all over, like, national television.
Of course not.
You know, and especially, I'm going to be honest, like, I've dealt with family members that have had suicide attempts and that have been suicidal, and with mental illness and mental health, and it's not freaking funny. And I don't think that it should be mocked or joked about at all in any way. And I thought that was really awkward conversation, and I don't think... You know, now that's out there permanently on social media, on streams forever. It's never going away. If she ever tries to get it... Did you just cough? Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear...
What? Great.
Did you guys hear that? If you guys heard that, put it in the comments. Because I heard the cough, and I looked at you, and you hadn't moved. And I was like... It was like a cough in the microphone.
I don't know, but I think I need to sage it out tonight because I'm just, you know.
I bet you they heard it too. I bet you anything. It was loud. And that's why I looked at you. I was like, how did you cough with your mouth closed? Yes, BNS heard it.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Yeah, it's either that or the FBI guy's back.
Oh my God, that's creepy. So Kat went, should we just like tangent for a second?
Okay.
Kat went to the grocery store earlier and picked up a ghost.
I literally leave the house once for the first time in like 5 days, and I bring something home. Why? Like literally, it first felt like I was in the aisle by myself, and it felt like someone like threw something at my back, and there was nobody in the aisle with me. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I went to another aisle, and somebody full-fledged like pushed me to the point where I actually fell forward, and I had somebody with me that like watched it, and it was creepy. So
and then you got home and saw that like white flash.
Yeah, I came home. I came in the office to set up for the stream tonight, and I was having a conversation, and then I saw this huge white flash of light by my closet, and it was pretty big. It was like I was like the size of it, like a person's aura.
Bob, the FBI. Bob, the FBI guy. Bob.
Yes.
It's Bob. Yes.
I forgot the name.
I know. Who came up with the name?
Yeah.
I just made it up that day on the stream.
Oh, I think that's what we called him.
It was Bob, but I don't think this is Bob, y'all. I think Kat picked up a straggler at the grocery store. They were afraid of the corona, and they had to come home with you because they're like, I don't want to be out here in the corona. I gotta go home with somebody. And they're like, ooh, Kat's light is bright. Go with her.
They were mad I took the last whole wheat bread, okay? It's the only one left. I needed some bread to freeze, so I'm just saying.
God. Well, now it's time to sage. So
sorry.
It's fine.
Guys. It's fine.
I mean, it's totally fine.
Yourself, get comfortable now before I sage you out.
Kat.
Enjoy it now.
I'm dead. Enjoy the time while I'm streaming. That's the only time you'll be here, ho, okay? Okay. Anyway, sorry. Let's get back to the stream. Hashtag paranormal life, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so, we both agree you probably shouldn't outright talk to someone that you don't really... I mean, it's okay. If you want to talk to someone about suicidal thoughts, like you said, be a little bit more poised and understanding. And, do you think delicate is a good word?
Delicate's a good word, and if you feel like you want to bring it up in conversation, maybe ask them if it's okay for you to be blunt. You know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to still say it, and they said it was okay,
right.
Whatever.
Right.
But, yeah, definitely more delicate. I mean, poor girl. She went through some stuff.
Well, yeah.
So
we're not even there yet. Jesus, take the wheel. This woman's been through a lot. Okay. So, she goes back to normal again. Then, all of a sudden, he's, interviewing her, and there's, a cold mass that goes between them. Billy says it's cold, and then... Is this when they start, breaking down with vanilla ice?
Yes, it is. Ice cold.
It's ice, ice,
It's
cold.
ice.
It's
Ice
ice,
cold.
ice, baby. Boom, 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 ba-da-dum, boom, boom. And I was like, what? And like kept saying it over and over again. I was like, stop it. Like I was waiting for Vanilla Ice to just like pop in and like be like, stop and collaborate and listen. And I was like, what are you guys doing? They just come in, ice, ice, cold. I was like, what are you doing? We know it's ice cold in there. It's cold.
You get it, guys.
Now, can we move on to something else?
It's like, I think I actually texted you where I was like, we should have a drinking game with how many times they say cold. It's cold, and it's fine.
Well, maybe they didn't have any other like footage to squeeze in there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so the mother says that she felt back to normal when she like actually exits and leaves the house. Oh my God, it's just, here we go.
Guess what it is again, guys?
I know. So this is when they're sitting on, is this when it's actual like B-roll footage of the like bishop coming in? Because this is when she sits down on the couch with her boyfriend or whatever, and she's like, I want him to be like present for whatever happens.
Not yet. Not yet. It's getting there though. Because they had to brief the bishop.
Oh, that's right. This is when he uses the cross as a bait.
Yeah. I found that so funny. Anyway, I'll get to that.
Go ahead, because that was just dumb to me.
Okay. So,
Like, if you want to, like, I mean, a cross, like, might upset something if you, like, hang it on the wall, but, like...
They had it randomly lying on a chair.
No, it was, like, balancing on, like, the neck of a chair on, like, a 2-inch, like, shelf.
Okay. He kept
Was he
using the
trying to
word
get it to fall off? Like, what was he trying to do?
provoke it somehow, I think, was the goal. But it was really bad, poorly, you know. I don't know. Some evidence came through, but, like, there are better ways for you to be going through that than doing a balancing act of a cross and saying it's cold. So,
Well, I guess, like, nothing came of it. So, because of that, I was like, we've been watching this cross sit on balance on this 2-inch shelf for, like, 5 minutes.
It's true, though.
And nothing has happened.
He kept saying, like, demonic infestation.
Oh, my God. How many times?
And that was the one that I texted you about. That was the drinking game, was how many times he says infestation.
Okay, and by the way, let's break that definition down for a second. Demonic infestation, what? Is there movement in your room?
I just heard, yeah, it's fine.
What is it?
I just heard, like, a bang on the door.
Look, Bob, just have a seat.
It's fine. You know what? Bob just needs to take a chill pill right now, because I'm going to get through the stream, but he likes to not. So, stop it. Anyway.
Demonic infestation is characterized by clearly more than one demon.
But it wasn't.
Hence, infestation. Meaning
I think of, like, ants.
many.
Like ants.
How have we come to that conclusion all of a sudden?
I don't
Like,
know,
all of a
he
sudden
was
it got way worse than before. Like, it was, like, demon, dropping the word demon. Now it's an infestation all of a sudden. And I'm like...
Well, I think what got me seeing the cross as bait was every time he kept saying, oh, it's a demonic infestation, I kept expecting to see, like, a demon mouse, like, show up because it's, like, bait. Like, I'm thinking about, like, a mice infestation or something, and I'm just like, I don't really know what's happening here, but we're just gonna keep going, so it's fine.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Demonic infestation crosses bait. I don't know. Honestly. That part was where it started to drag on a little bit for me, and because I was just like, why is this cross sitting here? And we're still looking at it, and I'm just like, nothing's happening. Why didn't they replace this evidence with something else?
Nice chair, though.
It was, but it's...
Chair, but, you know.
Why would you put the cross like that? It's just like, I think they were trying to get it to, like, fall or something. I was just like, ugh.
I don't know. I have no idea what they're trying
I'm going
to
to
do.
be real, like, the only word I could come up with is it felt crusty to me. Like, it felt stale, old, and crusty. You know what I'm saying?
I hate that word, but
What?
it's true.
Crusty?
It's true. Ugh.
Really?
Ugh. Ugh.
Aaron says he's not feeling well, which I definitely believe that he's not feeling well. Zach says that he Zach says casually, I had thoughts of strangling you.
He's just sitting there in the doorway. He's like, yeah, I just had thoughts of strangling you. And Aaron's like, Great. Wonderful. Thank you. I love his facial expressions. They're pretty amazing.
I'm sitting here like, what's new? You know what I mean? Like, everybody's always possessed by a demon. We're gonna strangle somebody. Did think it was interesting they caught the EVP that said nothing will help you. It was really creepy voice. Except when Billy repeated it, it gave me like the heebie-jeebies. I was like, because at first, like, they showed Billy just shouting that, and I was like, is he possessed or something? You know what I mean? But he wasn't. I did really, really love that they showed Billy's heart rate monitor, because once again, we're tracking scientific evidence that needs to be tracked, which I love for documentation. Aaron starts complaining about he's sick. And then Zach says that he keeps getting visions of rage. The crew starts taking photos of the rooms. This is when they caught like the corner demon or whatever. And other random stuff. I think they caught another one on like the table too. It was like a picture on the table.
That was creepy. That photo, there was a shot of the daughter that he met with first, Mary, and she was like smirking.
I saw that. When
he was like, oh, I caught footage in the corner of the, of where you said, and she was smirking in the background. She's like, yep, that's it. And I'm like, she was like, what are you doing?
But like, isn't that like, say what we thought?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
She's like happy that they've caught her demon or something in the room or whatever.
Really gross. Yeah.
They have the spirit box on and it says "Get Bagans," which I thought was really good, and it also had a like mock to Zach's voice. It says "It's so cold." Zach goes into the room with Aaron and asks, "What do you want?" Billy starts to get this motion sickness feeling, and he has it for pretty much the whole investigation. Billy was sick. I take Aaron and Billy. I met them both numerous times in person. Obviously, I've gotten to hang out with Billy a few times. And Billy and Aaron are both extremely authentic to how they are in real life. So anytime Billy and Aaron come up with evidence or however they feel, I believe them completely, 100%. And then this is the part that I've just been waiting for. And slow-mo B-roll footage of Sister Mary and Bishop Brian, and they're coming in to save the day. And I was like, oh, not again. Not again. Where do we start? So the bishop well, go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I think I said enough about him. He's just got some issues, and he shouldn't be doing what he's doing.
So the bishop is looking at evidence that they've captured, and this is when Kat and I actually kind of had the same feeling, which is I felt it was very awkward for a bishop to be so excited about evidence or like smiling and interested in it when he should be worried about the person.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I felt the same way. Clearly the intent was somewhere else. I think what stinks about it is the fact that the intent went away of him helping somebody, and it went more towards like the evidence aspect of it. But
it made me feel like grody, because you look at someone with the title of bishop to come in and help, and you don't think that he'd care what... I mean, I guess it would be... I guess my opinion, the way a bishop would look at evidence would be very serious and take it very serious. He wouldn't be like, oh yeah, or like, like happy about it, or like, oh yeah, and like smile, oh, whoa. Like, I just don't feel like that's an authentic way for a holy person to be reacting. I think they would feel very concerned, or they should be concerned, and to me it was more of like a show, and it just made me feel gritty. That's the only way I can explain it.
I mean, that's fair.
And then there was another section later where they actually took Bishop Brian in to investigate with him, which we'll cover that, but that also made me feel the same. I felt like that should not be happening. That's just my opinion. Okay, so they hear bangs on the house. There's an anomaly that is found being seen on the bed. And Zach compares it to a photo. And he says it looks like demon antlers and ears. Did you think it was?
I couldn't really make it out. But
That's
when they
called
put the photo-
matrixing. Because I agree. If you cannot make it out clear as day, and you have to really like analyze something and try to like imagine the image in your head and like figure out what you're saying, that's matrixing.
Yeah.
That's matrixing.
It did match up with like the picture. You know what I mean? Like they matched up the top half of that photo of the demon, and it did match up pretty perfectly. But that's all kind of speculation.
I feel like that's a
There's
really
nothing
long
concrete.
shot. I feel like that is like
It is.
that's playing baseball with cucumbers. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just a little far.
I found one of those in my hallway the other day.
A cucumber?
Yeah, it was still wrapped up. It was just lying in the hallway.
What?
Someone's groceries. I don't know. But
Didn't
I
you
was
find a
literally-
potato in a parking lot last?
Oh my god, that was so sad. I like mourned that potato. It was the poor thing was so cold.
Oh my god, Kat is a horrible empath. She feels for vegetables, just for the
I
record.
feel for the fallen vegetables. So sad.
Oh my god. So the husband has like an orb by the foot that they see. Another video shows the husband moving strangely while sleeping.
Yeah.
We're getting into the gritty part. I just had to stretch a little bit. All right. So now they're showing the evidence to the bishop, and the bishop says verbatim, it's a very common sight to see when a demon is trying to enter someone's body before the signs of oppression start. How do you know? How many videos have you seen of people almost being oppressed and possessed? And if you have those videos of people sleeping, being possessed and oppressed, that's creepy. Why are you watching people being possessed and oppressed, like in their sleep? Like I don't think that that's possible. That was a weird. That was just a weird statement. You know
It
what
was
that?
very specific too.
That was like a statement pulled out of his yoo-hoo. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just straight up.
All of it is.
I was like, shut up. Like literally, I was like, stop.
Did you see the comment?
No.
Did you see the, oh, they
What did the comment
Kat,
say?
You should make a cucumber crochet and put a squeaker in it.
Oh my god, Jesus.
Don't test me. I will find a pattern for it.
Oh my
will.
god.
Moving on.
Don't give Kat any more crochet patterns, okay? She's
Got a lot going on right now.
out of control. She's already fulfilling some toilet paper crochet orders, okay? She has
And I
several
have
of
her.
those. Yeah.
It's
She's
real.
very busy. People need their TP crocheted. By the way, I went to go get some for some backup today because I heard we got truckloads in. There was no TP. Thank baby Jesus that I have a little storage backup at my house, okay? Because people are cray-cray.
It is.
And I've had to
People
give
are
my
cray-cray.
neighbors some TP because people got to wipe. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Everybody, why would you buy all the toilet paper? Still,
Yeah.
we're like 2
That's
weeks
sad.
into this. Everybody needs to just calm down and just be satisfied with the toilet paper you have. You don't need no mo. Jesus Lord.
No, but really though.
Anyways, that's my rant's over. I'm sorry. I'm
Moving
calm
on.
now. All right. Then there's this. I'm just getting lost because I feel like I'm drifting away from my body.
Well, this is pretty bad. So
It is. This is where, like, okay. Another sign of evidence was shown. It looked like something was thrown off the bed. Didn't you? I thought it looked like a watch or something.
It did look like the face of a watch.
Yeah.
It did. It did, and it did appear.
I just heard the cough again. And it was as you were talking, so I know it wasn't you because you were talking and there's nobody else in the room with you. I'm sure they heard it again.
Cut it out. Cut it out, please. Enough. Jeez, I'm getting mad. It's Aries season. Don't get me mad.
Jesus.
I'm
Anyways.
getting like hot.
Uh-oh. It's because you got so mad. Aries are made of
fire.
fire from
I'm
hell.
seeping out my pores. I got some smoke coming out my pores.
Jesus.
Seriously, cut the shit.
Oh my god, Cat's like yelling at a ghost right now. Only on Ghost Girl Diaries channel. Welcome to the channel
The
if you've
ghost
never
has
been here before.
corona. Okay. God.
Oh my
Moving on.
god, I'm dead. But yeah, anyway, I thought it looked like a watch or like the face of a watch that fell off.
It did, and it did come out of nowhere, so that was pretty interesting.
I thought that was a cool piece of evidence. I thought that was really good piece of evidence. So I'm not like, I am not dismissing. What happened? What's going on? Tell me. I need to know.
I keep hearing a moan now. I just heard like a man like say, "Mm." Like, that's what it sounded like by my door. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Cut it out.
I'm dead. I am deceased officially. Do you think it's your uncle that just passed?
I don't know, but he was always the jokester. He was always the jokester.
He's like walking up to your microphone. He's like,
he probably would. He would. He would totally do that.
oh my God.
I don't know, but I just, God.
Just keep going, okay? Okay, the phenomena that fell off the bed, and then Zach mentions to the girlfriend, told him that her ex-boyfriend shot himself in the head while they were like sitting next to each other. Okay, wait, stop. Hold on. It's hammer time. Okay. No, wait, that was Vanilla Ice. I'm sorry, wrong one. Wrong one. Sorry. Well, they were both from the same era. Sometimes it's just,
Still a good song.
It's the hammer pants, the palazzo pants.
Those are so comfy.
Okay. So everything just took a really hard turn left.
Now we're like, what is happening?
Is that how you felt watching the episode? Because
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's going and going. And like, honestly, I'm going to be real and say, I feel like that's a weird, like, zinger to throw at the audience as they've been watching it, like, as editing. Because all of a sudden you're like, whoa, wait a second. This is like a weird piece that just got thrown in. It's sad, okay? So what she's saying is this woman's being haunted, and, like, it could be possession or oppression, whatever. And that she had an ex-boyfriend, and he was sitting next to her, and he shot himself in the head and died. Now I'm even more curious if she has PTSD.
Yep.
If she has depression. She is probably extremely mentally affected from that. You can't just, like, usually bipolar is something that you are born with, and it slowly develops over time. So I don't think that it would be bipolar or something like that, but she's definitely probably already a very dark person anyway.
Yeah. I feel like, too, like, it wouldn't be out there for her to also have a dark attachment with that.
No.
That must have been a lot of dark and negative energy anyway.
But
You know what I mean?
I didn't see a lot of compassion when we're talking about this.
No. Especially after that.
And I was just shook when this part happened, because obviously that's a very fragile topic to deal with somebody. For example, Blake had a really good friend in the military when they were as medics. They had trained together as medics, and then they deployed together as medics, and they were stationed in Iraq. And it was one of his really good friends. He was being sort of hazed by the other soldiers, and he went in and killed himself. Yeah. And so this is a very, very, very delicate topic that I don't think I don't think Zach handled it right at all. I think Zach was looking at it more of a executive producer film stance, and he's wanting, like, show reviews and credit for it, but, like, there's no compassion on the humanity side, and that's really messed up. And it got worse from there. So she says that, which I don't know why she even told them that, because, like, honestly, I'm going to say a bad word. It's nobody's goddamn business if she still owns some of his belongings that he died. Sure. She felt compelled to tell Zach that she owned some of his belongings.
She was cornered. She was cornered. Did you see that footage? He cornered her.
Mm-hmm. So she has a box of her ex-boyfriend's belongings who died in front of her. That's probably extremely traumatic. Like, I'm talking years of therapy, and that probably still wouldn't help. She probably blames herself sitting next to him. There's survivor's guilt, thinking she could have stopped him. Like, there's a whole enchilada of problems here, and there's not a lot of compassion, and I'm really, really getting frustrated because, of course, I'm very feminist myself, and of course I'm going to look at it as an empath from her perspective, and I don't like how this situation's being handled. And from this point on, I stand up and can't sit still for the remainder of the episode. And I'm so just disgusted with the rest of it that I couldn't even make notes for today's stream. Kat had to do it. So she says she has a box with belongings. It includes tissue from his funeral, and it includes notes, and like there's cards in there, like, you know, anniversary cards or like Christmas cards and like all that kind of stuff. So it's very, very personal. Timeout. Let's just pull a timeout for a second. Krystal, hey, how are you? Right here. She has been in a lot of long-term relationships, okay? And I'm talking like 2 to 3 years was my like smallest, shortest relationship, okay? So I've been in some very long-term relationships. I've been engaged a couple of times. And I'm going to be honest and say that I don't really have a lot of exes that are like mortal enemies. In fact, there's still a few that I'm friends with. And it's not romantic. Never go back to that place. But it's just a, hey, checking in on you. Hope life is good. That's about it. My point of this is when you're with someone for a portion of your life, 3-5 years, especially for a female, it is very difficult to just remove them completely from your mind. I have boxes of stuff from some exes, like it includes notes. High school, I went to high school with Josiah. I was with him for like 4 years. I have every single corsage from every single dance that we went to. I have all of our dance pictures in there. Do I go through those boxes? No. But they're there. And I mean, do you have anything like that, Kat? Like memories from things? Like surely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's normal, right? Like, and especially if somebody's died and like she probably hasn't dealt with it properly through channels of like therapy or whatever she needs, or maybe even medication. And so they start bullying her, in my opinion, about where's the box. They want the box. And I'm really pissed about this, okay? Because at first, Zach says that he wants to take the items in that box to have them blessed. He lied to her.
He did.
He lied to her, okay? So she tells him where the box is and says he can go get it. And I'm sorry. I'm really getting pissed again. Like, my hands are on my hips and I'm sitting down. And I can't sit still. Like, sassafras Krystal is out 100. Like, Taurus bull is here to, like, poke somebody in the ass with my Taurus horn, okay? She is vulnerable AF. She is vulnerable. She is depressed. She's just gone through practically a damn therapy session with Zach telling him everything, to admitting that she's suicidal, admitting that she has these things and that her ex killed himself, and like crying, trying to ask him for help, and now she's going to be manipulated into handing over this box of shit. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm like pissed off at this point. I'm just like, this isn't right. This isn't right. What she needs is a therapist, not an exorcist. Okay? So, okay, moving on. Sister Mary says he was trying to punish her. What was that about?
So she made a comment when Zach and the bishop were saying that whatever was under the bed when that guy was having an issue. Remember how they were saying that they saw something biolocate out through the bed, and they started seeing signs of somebody being possessed by something when the husband was shaking in the bed.
Right.
After Zach mentioned because this was during the briefing, so the crew was letting the bishop and Sister Mary know what was going on, and they made the conclusion about whatever was under the bed might be the main cause of the attachment, which was all hearsay, by the way.
Right.
It was brought up that, the box was the boyfriend's, and Sister Mary said it's like he was trying to punish her.
That is the most, like, twisted mindset I've ever heard in my life.
And it was quick. Like, so I don't know if they meant to put it in there or they forgot to take it out, but it was very quick that she said it. And I felt that was just really bad.
Well,
it's pretty much what...
I know, I'm starting to get upset.
Pretty much what they were saying was because the boyfriend shot himself that he was dark, and now he's trying to punish her for keeping those things.
Oh my God. All right.
Which is so bad.
I am not going to get into a religious chat because I don't have time for it. Okay.
Yeah.
I do not believe suicidatives go to hell. I think that's ridiculous. I think that they will have to probably reincarnate and come back and try again because I think they messed up. But it's okay. Like, life is hard. This planet is hard. And by the way, I don't think at one time, correct me if I'm wrong, Kat, did we ever hear or understand the story behind the circumstances of why he killed himself?
No.
So why are we jumping to conclusions?
They have no business doing that.
No, they have no business doing it. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're not therapists. They're not licensed therapists. You guys don't even know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Boundaries are you're beyond the boundaries at this point.
Yep.
And I am livid. I'm over the lid about everything that's happening. And I saw that too. He's trying to punish her. The boyfriend's trying to punish her inevitably. So wait, they didn't actually become a sister and a bishop by the Pope, which is how you become a real bishop and a sister.
Yep. No
but they're
business
still
thing.
going to play the card of if you commit suicide, you go to hell. And because he did that to himself in front of her, she's being punished by him eternally. What?
Yeah.
What? Wait. Okay, Sister Mary, Bishop Brian, and Mr. Bagans, I would like to see your therapy degree and or license.
True.
Because you should not be putting this in her head. You are not a damn therapist. I am sorry. But this, and even if Sister Mary's the one that said this, you're not a therapist, boo.
Yeah,
What's wrong with you people? What are you doing? You're trying to destroy people's lives for one episode? So Zach's going to carry on and do 20 more freaking seasons of Ghost Adventures and run it into the ground where this woman feels like her life is over and she might go off 6 months from now and kill herself because of what she went through with this episode? Was it worth it? Is there any morals going on? Is there any humanity? Do you have any feelings about how this woman's going to be left when this is over? Do you care? Do you have a soul? Do you feel anything at all? Hello? Is anybody there? If you're so sensitive to energy and you're an empath, you're sure not showing empathy.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Just curious. Just curious.
It was
My
bad.
2 cents. Sorry, I had a friggin' rant and blew up. It just gets better.
Good.
Just gets better. Okay, so now they're getting disembodied moaning and heavy breathing. Once again, I'm not denying that there isn't a haunt going on. I'm also not saying that she's not susceptible to a haunt because of all the trauma that she's been through that she has not un-effed. She's been through some stuff that she needs to un-eff and she hasn't un-effed it. A voice was caught saying, "Hate Bagans." Okay.
I feel like they all say that. Literally.
It's like a mood at this point. You know what I mean? All right.
Yeah.
The crew goes back to the house with Bishop Brian and Sister Mary. The bishop starts interviewing Layla. Okay. Do I want to let you take this over, Kat? I just feel like I might need... Because, I'm going to get really flared up by the time the end comes, which I will take back over. But I feel like I'm going to let you take the exorcism part. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's do it.
Because you also are more knowledgeable on the Catholic side, so I'm going to let you go for it.
All right, so we're going to break it down. We're going to break this down, and we're going to get through it, okay?
Krystal's going to meditate in the corner. If you don't see me talking, I'm just quietly meditating by myself.
It's fine. Everything's fine. So the bishop came in to the house and interviewed Layla after he was informed of whatever evidence they caught and whatever, synopsis they came up with regarding the attachment or demonic entity, demonic infestation.
Oh.
A hiss was heard while the investigation was going on, so that was very strange. It was caught on audio. And Layla starts to say that her hands are burned and that she had scratches, and that she had gotten them.
Did they show her hands burning with scratches? I can't remember if they showed it.
They didn't. Well, they showed her hands, but you couldn't really see anything. She just said it felt like they were burning.
Okay.
And they showed her arm for the scratches, but they didn't zoom in or anything.
Okay.
So she said they're very faint, but she has 3 scratches on her. And she actually got them at the hotel. So she wasn't even home, and she still got them. So clearly something is going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, has heard, again, it was mentioned that the boyfriend committed suicide, and then it was also told with the bishop there that the grandmother also committed suicide. So kind of was a really, really bad scenario to be in anyway. I can't even imagine how she must have been feeling.
Well, time out, though, again. You're talking about there's another suicide going on. So, hello? We need some therapy in here, not a bishop.
Right.
This person's going to have some darkness around them. They've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, let's just, I mean, Jesus Lord. Anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
It gets better. It gets better.
Of course it does.
Then Zach gets involved, and they all, as a group, mention the box of the boyfriend's items. And Zach asks if it was okay to cleanse it, to have Bishop Brian cleanse the box. And Layla got very defensive. Obviously, you know.
Now, was this after the, this isn't after the exorcism, is it?
This is before.
Okay.
This is before. So she starts getting really upset, and she was very adamant about, no, she can't get rid of it, but she'd be okay with it being cleansed. And obviously she'd have some more attachment to the box,
Of course she does. He's dead.
You know?
Yes.
Of course. So there are some things going on, and she's, you know, went through a really traumatic thing. So I feel like especially if something has been undiagnosed or she hasn't been getting the help she needs, you're going to feel really connected to that item. That's the only thing you have left, you know? So it goes on. Layla starts describing the demon as being a black panther on its back legs and it has hooves. Her husband now gets involved with the interview process and recounts that his grandmother used to do witchcraft and then turned Christian. So I don't really know how that had to correlate with anything. I don't know if that was the grandmother that ended up committing suicide. It didn't really correlate that well, and it wasn't very clear in the scene.
It's one of those other like random facts that was thrown in, and everyone's like,
it was kind of like left field, and I think they were just doing it for shock value because they were saying that witchcraft, because he called it doing evil and whatever. So
you just had you had a second voice talk over you, but it sounded female. Just so, I don't know what it said, by the way. Like, you can go back and watch the stream when we're done, and you can probably hear it, but yeah. Just to let you know, we're 1 hour and 16 minutes in if you want to go back and listen to it. You're like, not really. Thanks.
I might have to stage twice.
I mean, unless you have, like, dual vocal cords, like, you're the possessed one.
Look, you know what? Anything's possible. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't send me messages. We're joking.
Do not. I'm fine. I have my yarn. I'm good. Okay, so the husband mentions starting to pray. So he was letting the bishop know like what he would do when she started to kind of have a moment. Mm-hmm. And he kept saying the word praying. And that was when something started going down. Her eyes started rolling in the back of her head. She couldn't really move her hand right. It was like her hand was cramped and something was holding it back. And this is when...
Oh, yeah, her eyes were rolling back. I was like, ooh!
They were completely white.
Slap her with some holy water.
Out. She was freaking out, yeah. And that's when Bishop Brian starts the minor rite of exorcism. Mm-hmm. She was crying. She was asking for help. Her eyes were totally white rolling, and she kept asking what's wrong with her. So you could clearly tell there was a panic, and she was not in control of her body. She kept saying things like it burns because she was getting holy water put on her, and she said that she couldn't move her hands. So she was being very communicative, which was her fighting back in a way. Mm-hmm. You know, she was, which is good because you want to get to the root of the problem and what's uncomfortable for her. She then started having difficulty breathing and kept asking the bishop to stop after he put water on her head and after he started saying some prayers. The bishop, in a flurry, which, by the way, Krystal and I chatted about this too, he looked in a total panic. And, you know, I understand it. Like, clearly he probably was planning it to do right then and there. But you should still be prepared. You know, you're still prepared with everything you need for this moment, you know, at any time.
I mean, the way I described it was, you know, I have been in a circumstance at the Jerome Grand Hotel twice there in Jerome, Arizona, that I think 2 of my crew members were having a minor possession. And I told Kat this before. I had a crew, you know, of like 5-10 people that were standing around me. And when the big one happened, when you start witnessing something where like this person was throwing up, they were spinning on the bed, it was very strange. Your like your mind is fight or flight naturally, you know, like, because this is something that's not normal that you're used to seeing. Something's wrong clearly, and your mind, your adrenaline makes you either want to go help, fight it, or flight. And so I knew, as like my crew, it was my crew, I was running it, that I had to stay and figure out how to help this person. And you have to remain calm to figure it out. And I'm not even a bishop, obviously. Like, we just had to figure it out. But I told Kat, half of my crew saw me as like the leader, like, oh, Krystal's gonna try to take this on, we have to go help her. And then the other half of my crew was running around like a chicken with its head cut off. They were like, I don't know what's going on, what to do. That is how Bishop Brian appeared to me. And I guess the concern I have with this whole situation is he really legitimate like he says he is? Because to me, in this episode, he looked like he was panicking. Like, he looked like he was not expecting to deal with this. And he didn't know how to deal with it. He was sweating. He was stuttering. He's like, where's my... He didn't have his Bible. He kept calling his Bible, the book. I need the book.
The book. I'm like, you mean the Bible?
You mean the Bible? One thing that you probably need as a freaking exorcist?
A book?
Is it just your handy book?
I have some concerns, Mr. Bishop. I have some concerns.
I have some concerns when you forget the title of the Bible.
Literally, I just couldn't. He said that, and I was literally standing up. I was like, what is happening? What is happening right now? It was awkwardly shot, too. So it was clear that the camera techs that were on, or whoever was Billy or whoever was doing it, was clearly having some issues on what to do because they didn't even know what was happening. Mm-hmm. You know, it was just a mass confusion, totally.
And then we get the book.
We get the book. She gets the book. Okay, it's fine, you know. She does the thing. And he starts what's called a solemn blessing. He's clearly a mess and not really organized as to what's happening. She keeps saying that her hands are burning Leela, and that she can't breathe, and she does temporarily black out. She temporarily passes out from not breathing. And it's really strange, too, because half the time the bishop had his frickin'...
Oh, my God.
I can't think of it. What the heck is it called?
It's like the satin satchel thing they wear around their neck.
It's like the satin...
It's blessed.
It almost looks like a scarf.
Yeah.
Of thing, but it's not.
And it has like medallions on it, and usually it's been blessed too.
He was like covering her mouth.
Her whole face. He had her whole face under there. I was like, no wonder she's gonna pass out. The bishop's gonna knock this bitch out.
You're supposed to put it on the forehead.
Well, that wasn't the forehead. He had it over her mouth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was like, pay attention, Bishop. Mr. I know everything. Mr. Smarty Pants, I'm gonna go make my own church and go buy my hat on eBay.
Right. And I think what was even more disturbing about the thing is, you know, once she started breathing, you know, they started getting a little bit more control and telling her that she needs to breathe and focus and, you know, all that. Nobody was saying any prayers whatsoever until like one really timed shot of him saying a prayer towards the end. And because nobody was saying it, everybody.
And by the way, in my opinion, a bishop that is supposed to know prayer and exorcism, do you think he really needs to read it, or don't you think he would have some of those prayers memorized if he was actually an exorcist?
That's also another really good point.
Especially if it was an emergency and it happened during an interview out of nowhere. Don't you think that he could have been like, oh, like we when we're on set and there's something weird, like, okay, Kat and I had some experiences when we shot the pilot where we had like 4,000 ghosts in our bedroom and they wouldn't let us sleep. So we literally kept reciting St. Michael prayer. We knew it by heart. Like, this guy was like all over the place. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, and he doesn't know any of them. And I'm like, what's going on?
And Sister Mary didn't help either. And
what did she say? Didn't she say something ridiculous?
She kept saying, get angry. And she was talking to Leela. And I understood what she was trying to say, which was, be strong, you know, fight this. You can do this, you know, giving positive affirmation. But be strong is a lot different than get angry. And I feel like that was just the really wrong thing to say
Yeah,
in a moment of panic.
I feel like
because-
telling a demon to get angry is probably not the best option.
I was like, you're putting her in danger, Boo. Shut up. Just shut up and get the book. Okay.
Get the book. Get the book.
Okay. It's fine. So after the minor rite of exorcism happened, Leela was totally different. She did a lot calmer. And Zach mentioned that the air seemed really heavy and was very, very irritated after it happened.
Oh, this is a good point. Meg said, she said one thing that bothered her was that when he was reading from the Bible, he didn't have much authority in his voice. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, you need to be very firm and authoritative when you're doing something like that.
Yeah, it's true.
But once again, Meg, you're also pointing out what we've been saying, which he didn't seem very confident with this, which is probably why he shouldn't be performing things like this if you're having a confidence issue. Which is part of the Vatican training that people go through is If your ghost just jumped to me, okay, there's going to be a problem, okay? Because my printer just went off by itself, okay?
I'm here to share.
No. I will sage that shit out. No.
Me too. We both got a sage now. Great.
No. What?
What is that? What?
I don't know. It says it has an update or something. Anyway.
That's weird.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Ghost is updating it for you.
So Sister Mary, so once again, what's the moral of this story? Don't be Sister Mary and tell a demon to get angry.
Oh my god. Okay, don't. Bishop then after the exorcism says that someone has a hold, like he couldn't move. Zach confirmed it with high EMF spikes, that there was an energy there, an entity there that might have been doing that. After this is when it shifts again, and they are rummaging through Leela's boyfriend's belongings in the box.
Are you serious, Kat? My printer is going off again. Look. It's doing it again.
Oh, God.
I will high kick a ghost into next week, okay?
Look.
I have little to no F's left after the world's going down with Corona, okay? It's going off still.
I'm just here to share the wealth.
I will chop a ghost in the throat. Like, literally. Stop it!
Wow.
Stop it!
It's bouncing back and forth.
Go back to Kat's house. It's not my problem.
No.
You're not even in this. You're not in New Hampshire no more. Back to New Hampshire.
I am not
Okay.
nothing.
Jesus.
God.
Don't give
What
me
is our
your
life?
ghost. I'm not going to take your ghost dump, okay? Like, you're going to dump
It
your
wasn't
ghost on me.
intentional. The ghost likes you.
Jesus.
It has
Ugh,
favorites.
only on live streams, folks. Only on live streams. You know what I'm saying? I know.
Remember
Actually,
Instagram
random
live
side
streams
note.
too?
I've been editing, or I've been like shooting videos for you guys to upload to my channel, different ones. I'm gonna do some like business videos per people asking me to like keep them sidetracked from all the Corona stuff. I have some makeup videos and like some random like videos, and it's kind of throwback to like OG Krystal Ghost Girl Diaries when I would get random like EVPs and stuff. While I'm filming, I'm like, here we go again. I'm going to have ghosts featured in every single one of my videos. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, nothing printed, by the way. It was
That's
trying to print something and nothing came out. So,
Maybe it came back here.
good.
Wow.
I don't have any tolerance for
I
this.
see how it is.
Anyways, let me finish this. I have stuff to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, they went through Leela's boyfriend's belongings in the box, and they ended up finding some ashes in a small container. But it wasn't of the boyfriend, apparently. It was ashes of something else that
Wait
he
a second.
burned.
2 seconds before you do this.
Yes. Okay.
I think it was hilarious that like Zach felt something. He ran outside. He took like the EMF meter with him, and he started scanning himself. And I was like,
You're like,
he's standing by the trash can and he's like scanning himself, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but it's fine. But then he was oddly excited about getting that box out. Did you feel that? Like, it kind of made me want to throw up. Did it
yeah,
you?
It was not good energy at all.
Okay. So they find ashes in the box, but she confirms that it's not her boyfriend's ashes, but they were something that he pre-owned, and it was before he shot himself, but she kept them out of respect of him, okay? So it could have been a pet. It could have been... I mean, let's not just jump to some dark conclusion and be like, oh, he was doing witchcraft and, like, there's something he did. Please, probably not. Like, everybody calm down. Could have been a pet or something. So then Zach and the crew do, like, an investigation. They find, like, an orb. This is when the bishop comes in to investigate with them, which I was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable.
He was sitting down. Like, he was sitting down just watching, and he was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm like, you did your job, go.
Yeah.
Leave. Get out, you know?
Once again, you have your monk that works with you.
Yeah.
Would he ever be doing that? Would he act like that?
No. You
And
peace out. You have to go back and bless yourself, and there's a whole other thing you gotta do.
So you wouldn't hang out just chatting it up and being on ghost adventures?
No. I mean, unless you were sitting with the afflicted or the person that just had an exorcism to ensure that they were okay and they were comfortable or how they felt. You know, there's a lot of documentation that has to happen during that as well. And clearly they didn't care. They didn't care about her. They were interested in the evidence, unfortunately.
And I have this feeling that Bishop Brian's all about getting famous too off of Ghost Adventures, which that's just the energy that I read from him.
Yeah,
it makes me want to throw up. It's really gross. Yeah. So then Aaron decides to do the spirit box session with Billy. A voice comes through and says they found it and discovered, which is obviously they're talking about the box. Mm-hmm. Billy starts to feel sick again. He's claiming that where he was standing, which was near the box, made him feel sick. Whatever. I don't know. Like, I'm tired of hearing about the box. The bishop says whose ashes are in the container. She says, I don't know. But they aren't human, what does that mean? How do you know? I don't know. Like, that means it was probably a pet. You know what I mean?
Right, probably.
Which you assume is an animal of some kind. The bishop then recommends, I was livid at this point, guys. Like, I couldn't sit down and I couldn't watch it. I was literally, like, walking around, stressed out. I couldn't sit still. So the bishop says that you need to burn the box and the ashes. And Layla says she wants to, like, keep something from it and, like, take pictures. And they tell her, no, you can't. You have a bad attachment to this box. You need to let it go.
And this whole scene at the end was so quick. Like, they just wanted to kind of sweep it under the rug. You know what I mean? And then say that was why. That there was things going on in the house. And that was just horrible.
So Zach says that he said, quote, I think she has an unhealthy obsession over the box. And remember, we're talking about her dead boyfriend's notes and stuff. I would keep it if it were me. Okay, maybe she should get rid of the ashes. I would keep it if it were me. Like, this is ridiculous. This reminded me of the Haunted Collector when he owned, like, his museum. And I feel like he really was scamming people. He would go to all these people's houses and be like, oh, yep, found out that, you know, this relic that you bought at eBay for $40,000 from Egypt is a haunted relic, and I have to take it with me back to the museum. That was like a total scam to me. You know what I mean? And, like, this feels the same way. Like, wait a second. How did we, like, ultimately decide it was the box? Like, this girl's been through some stuff, and now you're going to pressure her into, like, burning all of it? Are you kidding me?
Well, you know what I noticed that really kind of made me sick, and it stinks because the whole time I was watching the episode, I was really rooting for the husband. I was really, really rooting for him because he seemed to be really supportive and understanding that she was crazy and that, like, you know, she was really going through this and present for the whole exorcism. He was holding her the whole time. There was fear. He was just there. And, you know, towards the end of it, I guess we will get there when we get there. I was really disappointed with something that he said at the end of it.
Well, moving forward to this, I just want to back the truck up for another second and talk about Zach saying, quote, she has an unhealthy obsession over the box. First of all.
You really want to go there, Zach?
Yeah, I'm going to go there. First of all.
Let's go there.
How many times has Zach been in a relationship where someone's killed themselves in front of him? Can he understand from her perspective? Probably not. 2, women are sentimental as F. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's just how women are. Emotional beings. None your business. None your business.
Yeah.
3, Zach, you shouldn't be pointing fingers at unhealthy obsessions when you have a damn Dybbuk box with a demon in it. And I've seen the sage in there that's molding and rotting that they have to change out every 6 months, okay? And you want to talk about unhealthy obsessions with the devil's rocking chair and all the other demonic stuff that you have in there? Please, let's not point fingers with, you know, what's that old saying? People that live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. You want to talk about an unhealthy obsession here for a minute? You are messing with this woman, and you're doing something horrible to her. And in my opinion, now you have the freaking bishop that's chiming in saying, I'm going to make you a holy fire. It's going to be a blessed holy fire, but you have to start it yourself. And we're going to burn everything, and that's going to be your release. And I'm like, please don't tell me. So I'm sorry. You have a bishop who's abusing his power of his name, which isn't even a legitimate bishop. He's basically trying to talk her into this, saying, I'm a holy man, I am a man of God, and you can trust me, and I think what you need to do is burn this to release it. So that's an abuse of power, in my opinion. And now you have a celebrity, Zach Bagans, who's an executive producer of this paranormal show, who now you feel indebted to because he came to your house to film all of this stuff. And you're in a very vulnerable place mentally, and now they're basically first they were just going to bless the box, now they're going to go burn the entire contents of the box. And there's just no humanity, feelings, empathy. Once again, Zach claims he's an empath. I'm not seeing any empathy. I'm not seeing Zach put himself in her shoes at all this whole episode. He's not being understanding. He's pointing a lot of fingers when he has a lot more pointing back at him. And I was really couldn't watch it. I was really disgusted. So they're claiming that she got an attachment after her boyfriend killed himself. Could be, but by the boyfriend, not necessarily. You're in such a dark, negative, depressive state from your grandmother killing herself, and now your boyfriend did it. You're gonna be like attracts like, boo boo. If you're in the dark, you're gonna attract the dark. So they put the box on the ground. She's bawling her eyes out. She's crying. There are like mementos in there. Like these things are like personal items, you know, from years of a relationship with this person. And I'm shook. I am freaking shook. I was so mad. I was disgusted. I wanted to throw up. She's over in the corner crying her eyes out, and here goes the blaze of fire burning up in the air. Everything she ever had with this guy. And Zach's like, and the bishop's like, oh, this is what you need to like get rid of this attachment. You're having an unhealthy attachment with your boyfriend killing themselves and blah, blah, blah. And it's unhealthy and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And this is going to release it all. And I'm like, once again, who's a therapist here? Nobody's a therapist here. What are you talking about? This isn't going to release it. It's probably going to make it worse. So congratulations, you may have just ruined her life. And you're going to carry on with your celebrity life and continue to make millions of dollars and carry on. Bishop's getting famous off of you. Now he's going to carry on with his life. And this woman's going to go off to herself in Antelope Valley and be depressed as F by herself. All of the belongings that she ever had of his are now dust thanks to both of you, and you've moved on with your life and not thought about her in the blink of an eye. You have no human compassion whatsoever. And I'm sorry, but that's disgusting. I'm sorry, it's disgusting.
It is. And the other thing was too that there was really also no concrete evidence that she was taken care of. It's like they did the fire and that was it.
Right.
So is she still having issues? Is there continuous...
Oh, but it gets better. It gets better. So the box gets lit on fire, and you can talk about what the boyfriend says after this. The box gets set on fire. She's in the corner, bawling her eyes out in pain. And here comes the bishop and Zach high-fiving and hugging each other. Yeah, we got the demon. We got it. We got it. As this woman is clearly in pain. And they're ignoring her. Nobody went over to ask her if she was okay. Nobody said, can I hug you? How are you feeling? They just ignore her in the end of the episode. And I'm like, what am I watching here? The world is crashing down as we see it, literally around us. We're all quarantined in our house right now. And I wanted to watch Ghost Adventures for a feel-good ghost mood because that's my life. And I'm watching the king of paranormal destroy someone's life and walk away with no regrets. And I'm just like, wow, I don't even know what humanity is anymore after the last 2 weeks. I don't even know anymore, because like, it's fine. I understand, like, from an executive producer standpoint, Kat knows how I work. You want a good storyline, right? You want to be able to show something good. You need to have that like intro and climax and outro, and like you need a storyline and characters and antagonists and protagonists. Like, you need to develop that story. But when is it too far? When is it we went too far? When is the line going to be drawn in the sand and be like, may have went too far for the views? This was it for me. Go ahead, Kat, talk about the husband or boyfriend.
Yeah, no, it's just a really quick note. Before they put the lighter fluid on the box, she went to run forward to go and grab the box, grab something from it. You know, you could, whoa.
Yeah, what was that? Your whole house went out?
My whole lights just flashed.
Bob. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's your uncle. I'm just going to say that. Even if your uncle was a trickster, I don't think he'd be messing with your lights. You know what I'm saying?
No, totally not. Anyway, so he, you know, she was running forward to go and grab the box, and the husband held her back and said, just let it go.
Well, that's because it's on fire.
Well, it was before it went on fire.
Oh, it was?
It was before they were doing the lighter fluid.
Well, okay, look,
there.
let's just talk for one more minute, okay? Krystal and Kat are somewhat outspoken. I don't know if you could tell that. Is it that obvious that we're outspoken? You know what I mean? Can you tell we're outspoken? Like, I don't know. Anyways, she's vulnerable and she's weak. She's had a very hard life. Someone needs to be her cheerleader and stand up for her. She wanted to say, no, I don't want to do this, and she didn't have the courage to do it. And they should not have been bullying up against her to do this to her. And, I mean, Kat and I were on the phone earlier, and I was like, so if they told you, Kat, they needed you to burn all this stuff, what would you say?
F off.
F off. No. Find something else to burn. You want to start a bonfire, do it something else. No. But that's also showing that they manipulated a weak-minded female. Ooh, you want to talk about pissing me off? You want to play that game? You don't want to play a game about manipulating a weak female. You will throw me over a bridge with anger. My Taurus will come stampeding at you, and it will be so ugly. Okay? Because I do not like when people are vulnerable, especially women, and then a bunch of men taking advantage of it. Ooh, you do not want to do that, okay?
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you what I said last night. I'm so pissed off about this episode that I don't want to review Ghost Adventures anymore.
Yeah.
I am just disgusted with the whole thing. I have been doing one thing in this industry since I started in 2011. And one of those major vocal points that I have been preaching since the beginning is that there are not enough women in paranormal, and there is not enough women in film. And that has been my voice. That's why you guys follow me. You know that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I preached the Taylor Swift song that I would have been much further by now if I was a man. 100%. Kat knows that too. Kat knows that now that she's been in the business with me with film. We would have already had a show by now if I was a dude. Okay? And I'm not. And when I see this happen, I am just so disappointed because Zach follows me, obviously. We've had private conversations. I've been to the museum several times. He knows what I'm about. He is very flattering when he has introduced me to people, saying, oh, she knows her shit. That's how he introduces me. Oh, Krystal knows her shit. Like, you should watch her videos. She knows her shit. If he knows that I know my shit, then he knows what I'm about, and he would know that this is absolutely not okay to me. It's Absolutely not okay. My voice has always been about femininity and female and women empowerment. And watching this happen made me physically sick.
Yeah.
Made me physically sick. I don't have millions of views on my Ghost Girl Diaries channel for nothing. Okay? And I guess people maybe have liked that too over the years, is that I've always had that female twist opinion on paranormal, which is very rare as well. I guess what I'm trying to say is, you would think, because I've been on YouTube for so long and I've been successful at it, and that Zach does know who I am, you would think that he would want to help lift me up, even if it's not directly, and the female empowerment movement, because it's so lax in the paranormal community. And to see this episode says he feels otherwise. And that's the tea.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's a lot.
It sucks. Yeah, it's sad and it sucks. And I know that you guys love hearing my opinions on Ghost Adventures. Zach is, 26 seasons in or something, Kat?
Something like that, yeah.
If we're getting to this point, it's time to hang it up. It's time to hang it up while you still have, some courage, and you still have your reputation and credibility. And if we're getting to this point, I don't know if he just doesn't care. All I know is that this isn't going to work for me anymore. I can't support something that is against everything that I've ever created. And that's just the way it is. I don't know how you feel about it, Kat.
I agree. It was really disrespectful how he was treating this woman. And it was really clear what his goal was with this. He preached helping people, being there to help. Ghost Adventures is there to help. And 90% of it was just for the evidence.
Not even the evidence. It was for the shock value. Just like, once again, should they have showed, public footage of an exorcism happening, even if it's a minor rite?
Nope.
I mean, once again, you're thinking about these people having longevity of, like, a job. What happens if someone Googles her name and finds out that she had... And she's just a normal 9-to-5 person like everyone else, as if the job market isn't sparse right now with the corona thing going on. What if someone Googles her name and finds out she had an exorcism and she can never get a job again because they watch the footage and they think... What if it's a very religious person? Afraid of demons. Like, think about that. Like, you're not thinking about the longevity of these people and their lives, and it's just... This was really too far for me. This was too far. And I own relics and things of my exes, and I don't know. I don't go through them. I don't care. I just know that they're there. Mm-hmm. And and to burn them is so dramatic too. And like, don't play therapist, man. Like, and I guess that's another thing that I get like twitchy on personally is I've been to therapy. I've preached it to you guys that like mental health awareness, 100%. Kat's been to therapy. It's okay to go to therapy. It is good to talk and un-F yourself, okay? Like, everybody needs it once in a while. There is no shame in that whatsoever. And because I have been to therapy, in fact, I just finished another session of therapy, and now I'm out of therapy. To see people trying to play a therapist that have no idea what they're doing, and I can seriously see that they're doing more damage, also frustrates me as well. I'm over it. I'm tired. And we're in, like, a really dark point in this earth right now, okay?
We don't need more of it.
We don't need more darkness. We have enough selfish assholes on this planet that do things for themselves and not for the greater good of others. And we don't need more. And I just can't watch it. It makes me sick right now. I just can't watch it. So that's the tea. We did go over a stream. We really blabbed about that one. It's almost been 2 hours. Maybe this weekend we'll do, or maybe tomorrow's Saturday. Why don't we do a stream tomorrow about our other topic that we want to do? It's much more uplifting.
It is.
Krystal won't come out as a raging bull. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what? You aren't that. it's important to have this conversation
The
because
bull-
otherwise people really wouldn't see that underlying, message underneath it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's important for that to be exposed.
study of communication is understanding how people communicate to others and with others. And I guess maybe that's where I've been lucky with my channel of Ghost Girl Diaries and analyzing, because I see and I hear and I comprehend what's being said and done. And I don't know, when there's a red flag, like, it needs to be called. And, like, I'm going to be honest, like, this corona stuff, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired. It's been a long week. I feel like I can't sleep. I feel like I'm checking social media every 5 hours. It's been a long week. And, like, I know everybody's in the same boat. Like, I had, like, a week where I literally wore a hoodie and pajamas and threw my hair up in a ponytail. I was, like, non-functional. Thank God I'm coming out of that, because it's now we're in more of an accepting phase. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I can't do any more negativity. I can't do any more darkness. I guess, you know what a better term for it is, Kat? Meanness.
True.
I can't do any more
Cold-heartedness.
meanness. There's been enough meanness and anger and darkness in the world, and I'm just done dealing with it. I'm done watching it. I worry about Ghost Adventures because they just recently changed their times to Thursdays. That's not good from a network stance. Your prime time is Friday nights and Saturday nights, and now they've been moved to Thursdays. So don't be shocked if something happens with Ghost Adventures.
You know why?
I'm tired, and I can't do this anymore. It's too much. Ghost Girl Diaries, look, and I'm also going to say I am glad that we have not gotten signed officially yet. Because if we would have gotten signed during this pandemic, we would have also been canceled. So it is divine timing. Everything happens for a reason. We need to let this storm pass, and in the meantime, we'll be streaming. Kat, you just uploaded a really good video to your YouTube channel today, didn't you? Or you're going to?
I did. Yep, it's already up. It uploaded at 9.
Yeah, so what is your channel? Can you link your YouTube channel?
Yeah, let me link it below.
Link it so you guys can watch it. She's been doing some spiritual stuff that might be good for you guys to watch. So watch her Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for posts on her social media. And I haven't uploaded. I will. I was just like you. I was in a funk like everybody else. Don't think you're alone. I'm feeling what you're feeling. But, please ground yourself, because it is crazy times, and I just want you to ground yourself, because I'm going to copy your link really quickly and repost it so that everybody has it.
Awesome. Thanks.
Hopefully it goes through, maybe. Yep, there it goes. Ground yourself. This is a test, too, of how you're handling things. And if your mental health is not in check, you're going to spin into oblivion. You need to, I don't know, do whatever it takes. Kat loves to, meditate while she's knitting.
I do.
Do whatever it takes. Start exercising. I mean, I've been on lockdown and on, what is it called? Quarantine in Nevada. We were one of the first states to call it. And I've been on it for a few days. And I went out today for my last grocery store run for a while. Because they've tightened up now that really they don't want anybody out unless it's for groceries. And so I went on my last grocery store run, and this is life right now. It's weird. It's uncomfortable. You're not alone. It's going to be okay. We're all in this together. And there's a lot of community resources. If anyone's having issues with finances or bills, call the bill providers. They've been working with people, from what I hear, very easily. There's community centers that are helping with food. If you're broke because you lost your job and you need food, you need to Google it in your area. Kat said that New Hampshire set up a Facebook page that is anybody in your area, they're helping each other. It's a very community driven effort. So if you're having issues, you're not alone. Kat has a neighbor that she had to reach out to help. I did as well. And that's what you need to do too. Try not to be so damn selfish right now. Okay?
Yeah.
We're all depressed. We're all upset. Everybody doesn't know what's going to do. Nobody knows what tomorrow's going to bring. So why don't you reach out and try to help someone and help the community and help things change for the better, so that maybe we aren't just all stuck here. I've known some elderly people that have literally been afraid to go into the grocery stores, and I reached out to help them. I used the Nextdoor app. And it's free. It's a free app, and you put in your neighborhood area. And I've taken some elderly people some groceries. I've gone grocery shopping for some people. Why don't you reach out and do something for the greater good of the community and stop thinking about yourself? And I don't mean to sound so abrasive, but it's true. This is a really weird time that we've never experienced in our lifetime, right? No one's ever gonna experience this again, hopefully, knock on wood. But like, while this is going on, rather than sit there depressed and feeling sorry for yourself, why don't you reach out and help someone in need that actually needs it? I'm thinking about homeless population too. Like the other night, I'll do this last little blurb before we go for the night. I went and did a filming video on the Strip because part of, or 99% of the Strip is closed in Vegas, which has never been seen before. Also, P.S. it is not dark. Everyone's saying the Strip is black, and there's pictures going around that the Strip is dark and black. No, it's not. The lights are still on. Are you kidding me? There's millions of dollars in those casinos. They're not going to turn the lights off. Like, this is ridiculous. It's fake news. Just no, don't worry about it. So anyway, I went down there, and it was very isolated. There's no one walking on the sidewalk. There's hardly any traffic. And I got down to an area called Fremont Street that's in Vegas, and there's a lot of homeless population that's in sort of the art district down there. And there's sort of two areas for homeless. The art district is the safer side. And all of these homeless people are sitting on the edge of the street asleep because there's no one to ask for money and help because no one's driving around because everyone's in quarantine. And so what I've been doing is I pack some little grocery bags of stuff. So I'll put like 3 or 4 bottles of water with like some Pop-Tarts and like chip bags, anything that I'm willing to be able to give up. And I keep them in my Jeep Wrangler, and if I see somebody in need, I just have the bag ready to go and I hand it out the window. Think ahead, prep yourself, help the community. It's not we and them anymore. It's not celebrities versus the poor. It's not politicians. It's not even red or blue anymore. The coronavirus doesn't dispute who it goes after. It doesn't matter. It went for Tom Hanks. It goes for poor people. It doesn't matter. So we're all in the same boat. So just be prepared and help people that you see in need rather than turning a blind eye. And don't be so selfish. We're all upset. We're all stressed. We're scared. We don't know what the future holds. So why don't you help someone that needs help?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Reach out.
We need each other now more than ever.
Mm-hmm. We do.
So.
And ascending is uncomfortable. There's going to be some massive changes on this planet. And Kat and I will talk about that tomorrow. But
Yeah.
I think in the end, after this is over, we're all going to be in a better position. But it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Especially people that are energy involved with paranormal. Like if you guys are into paranormal, you like energy. You like to feel energy. And so you're going out in the grocery stores, even if you're on quarantine like me, and you feel the energy and you're like, ew, the energy feels weird. And then you feel weird. And then you go home and feel weird. So just, that's why grounding yourself right now and like helping others in need and keeping your mental health in check is like number one. Some grocery stores are offering a senior hour. Yes, that's true. There's a grocery store by my house doing it, but today, one of the seniors posted a picture of the grocery store by my house. They're offering 1 hour senior visits, and the line was wrapped around the store. And these seniors are like, I can't wait in line. I'm in a walker. You know what I mean? So once again, you can still reach out and help people in your community. You don't have to use like, the 4 blocks of your house. If you take a walk, go get some fresh air. You see an older person outside, offer to help them. There's ways around it. Get on WhatsApp. Use Facebook, has a ton of groups. Like, start contributing. Let's help each other through this. It's going to be okay. But we can't do it solo anymore. It's not about it's about we. So start changing your perspective. You're going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. Breathe. Stop buying toilet paper.
And stop buying toilet paper.
Kat is tired of knitting toilet paper, okay?
It's a lot of work, guys. You know what I'm saying? But it's washable. It's fine.
This is so gross. This is so messed
Look,
up.
you know what? Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Look, I'm not going to say I didn't buy napkins as a backup plan today because, I'm okay right now. But you never know when it runs out what you're going to need. So I may have got myself a backup plan just in case. Shit happens. Get it? Get it? Just kidding.
I get it.
Try and make everybody laugh. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you guys. We're going to be okay. Kat and I are going to try to stream more through this and stuff. We were just like you and really needed to find ourselves for a minute. Did we? I don't know if we actually did. Like, maybe.
Past few days have kind of felt like a blur. You know, it comes in waves. But you got to take the good days when you get them and be as grateful as possible for, you know, the health that we have and a roof over our heads.
If you guys need toilet paper, get on the I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Get on what's it called? Nextdoor app. It's called Nextdoor. It's a green app. Or get on Facebook and Facebook groups, because I have literally given people toilet paper that have needed it. And you find people in your area and you say, look, I'm being honest, I need a roll of toilet paper. Somebody will help you. I'm serious. It's been very community driven in Las Vegas. And Kat says it's very much the same up there.
It is.
So just don't be afraid to reach out. Like that's like, it's a mindset we need to get out of, is like that's part of the problem that this planet has had for so long, is it's been everyone fighting for themselves. And the coronavirus has taught us, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? It's not all of ourselves. It's for each other. It's respecting our elders and taking care of each other. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you guys as always. Please make sure you follow us on social media. And we're going to try and stream again tomorrow.
Yes.
Kat, go sage your house.
I'm gonna do that. Twice.
I'm just over it. You know what I mean? Like,
they need to stop messing with the lights. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Follow us on social media. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, we will catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Back from the dead.